project was a deal that came to the Leviticus Fund through one of our repeat borrowers, the Community Builders, which is a nonprofit development organization. And they were working with a for-profit developer called Thoroughbird, who had acquired the former worship space for First Union Baptist Church in the Mount Hope section of the Bronx. The church wanted to sell its property, but still maintain space in whatever new structure was built. And so Thoroughbird had acquired the property, but they were unable to move the project forward. They brought in the Community Builders as a partner. Community Builders determined that an 85-unit, 15-story affordable housing structure was the best use for the site. It was going to house mainly seniors. They needed about $5.5 million to acquire the equity interest from Thoroughbird, and so they came to us for an acquisition loan. Well, for our fund, the Leviticus Fund, a $5.5 million acquisition loan was a large transaction for us. So we wanted to be able to bring down some of our exposure. We had worked with PCG for several years on many transactions, and we thought that this would be a good fit for us to work together. Well, it allowed us to be able to reduce our risk exposure. It enabled us to be able to provide the size of loan that the borrower needed, and we wouldn't have been able to do that given the amount of capital that was required and the level of risk exposure that was involved. It was very smooth. The team at Partners understands the nature of the transactions that we're engaged in. We speak a common language. We share a DNA in terms of our origins as organizations that came out of a Catholic faith tradition. So we have a very strong commitment to the mission of what we're doing. So there's not that sort of miscommunication about why we're taking certain risks in order to achieve certain results. So we worked smoothly together. They were able to respond quickly. The transaction got somewhat complicated. Community Builders wanted to save money in terms of the upfront costs that they were incurring, and that meant that they did not want to record the mortgage. So we had a security interest in the property, but we weren't able to record the mortgage that you would traditionally, in a way that you would traditionally do with this kind of financing. So what we created was something called a springing mortgage. And basically we said, all right, you don't record the mortgage, but if you default on the loan, we will automatically record it. And Partners was willing to accept that risk with us. It is. Participation lending is critical to our lending strategy because it enables us to punch above our weight. We're able to do transactions that we typically would not be able to finance given our capital limitations. So a $5.5 million loan meant that we didn't have to go all the way up to our lending limit in order to meet the need for this particular borrower. You know, it's about being patient, it's about being flexible, it's about listening to borrowers, it's learning that the toughest thing to do in our kind of lending is to say yes. It is so easy to say no, but you've got to be able to find solutions, because if we're not putting capital at risk, then we're not solving the challenges that our society faces.